All right, I can explain. People still, a lot of gamers still don't know what's going on.
Really?
Right?
About after 500 videos of you bashing Xbox guys, we don't understand what's going on, man. You like 49 years old and you still console worn, man. What's wrong with you?
It's happening in gaming, in particular to the direction of Xbox, Xbox consoles.
What about PlayStation? Ain't you a PlayStation fanboy? I find it so ironic that you guys claim that the PlayStation 5 is the most powerful platform and has the best incredible games, but yet all you do is talk about Xbox. Explain to me how that makes sense.
Microsoft's vision, how is that related?
What about PlayStations? Let's talk about the fact that Lego Horizons barely even eclipsed the million. There was only 600 people on Steam playing that garbage game. Let's talk about the fact that even with the 65 million hardware sales, people still don't want to buy games for your platform. What is wrong with this man, bro? You people are living... You're not living in reality at this point.
PlayStation, things like that. Let's use this, right? Inside a gaming conversation, we're going to go back to an oldie but goodie, right? We got to hear the words from Phil Spencer himself, so let's hear it. Let's hear it. This is exactly from PlayStation to Xbox. More people will be interested in Xbox. If we come up with a new hardware, a new product, we get to do over.
I think most people in the Xbox community don't care where people decide to play their games. I mean, why are you bringing up old interviews? We know what Phil Spencer said. These games will come to other platforms on a case-by-case basis. But did you know that Sony would put all their games on PC? I don't think so. You cannot use that towards an Xbox gamer because we're already used to it with the PC. We don't care if you ponies want to play some of these games. Maybe for some of these other diehard full enthusiasts like you. But most Xbox gamers just want to play games. And I find it so funny. You call yourself a PlayStation channel, and I have never once seen you upload any PlayStation gameplay or even talk about any PlayStation games. You ain't even talking about Lego Horizons because of how boring that game is. Nobody's playing it. Nobody cares about it. What's even more pathetic is the fact that Xbox games do better on your platform than even Sony's very own exclusives.
Don't believe in that. So at a minimum, if Microsoft does release a new Xbox console, it is not being designed with...
But you just said that they wouldn't. Remember when they were like, oh no, Xbox, they leaving the console market, so I guess games still win another W. Like, I get it, consoles will cease to exist eventually, but a lot of you ponies said that Microsoft don't see no future in consoles just to have Microsoft want to put out another console. Like, are you serious? Like, you people ain't nothing but a bunch of hypocrites, man. Just admit it. You guys don't like Xbox, and that's fine.
Nintendo trying to grab PlayStation and Nintendo market share. They don't believe in it. They don't believe they're going to gain that market share back or improve sales. That's not going to happen, okay? That's fundamentally something gamers are going to have to understand. And it doesn't matter how much...
And what you're going to have to understand is that all your games are inevitably dropping on PC. It's so funny that you ponies want to still talk about console exclusivity when every single one of your games is going to PC. The full slate, I mean.
Xbox. It's irrelevant. Your personal opinion.
It's so irrelevant that that's all you people talk about. Imagine having it's like you're complaining about, you know how he's always using these analogies like how you're bending over. So I got an analogy for you. You're like a dude that can't get over your ex-girlfriend, you know, or should I say Xbox girlfriend. You know, you can't get over your ex. So you keep calling her thinking that she wants you, but in reality she's already having fornication with another man. That's exactly what you're doing. That's probably even happening in your own personal life. I didn't mean to go there, but I'm just saying. Because I personally don't understand as to why a 49-year-old man is out here console warring for a piece of plastic.
It means nothing. It doesn't matter how many Xbox-centric podcasts and how much they lie to our Xbox. It's not changing the reality.
See, the problem is with PlayStation fanboys, they have created this narrative for people that do enjoy playing on Xbox. Oh, why do you enjoy playing on it? I don't know, because a lot of these games still ain't on PlayStation. And even if they were, I don't care. Like, you guys have built up this narrative where it's like, oh, it's not okay to play on Xbox. It's okay to play gaming anywhere. It doesn't matter what you say. If you want to play games on PC, Nintendo, PlayStation, and even Microsoft even, who cares? You guys want to act like, oh, it's the best place to play PlayStation for games on the PS. Nobody cares about those games because the last time I checked, it's being overruled by third party.
Heard it from the boss. There is no situation where Xbox can get, from the console perspective, console market share. It's not happening. Okay? Now, let's add that with some facts. So Matt Piscatella from MPD, or Sakana, formerly MPD, compared to PlayStation 4. But now to continue, Xbox Series is trending 11% behind Xbox One base and is now 5% behind the Xbox 360 trend. But Microsoft...
See, that's all PlayStation fanboys can do is talk about hardware. Is that all you people want to talk about, man? Like, what about the software? Let's talk about how bad Lego Horizon sold. Y'all don't even want to touch up on that fact. You guys want to keep talking about hardware, but you never want to bring up how software is doing on your platform. Even Stalker did better than it. And that game was offered through Game Pass Ultimate, a service where people didn't even have to buy the game, and you people still complaining. Let's go.
Decreased focus on console as an ecosystem driver for better and or worse. And the amount of people that bought the Xbox Series S, even though Xbox Series S has the cheapest price, meaning there's more opportunity for people to buy an Xbox console at $300 than before, okay? But then it gets worse. Not only are they behind the Xbox One generation, they're behind the 360 generation by 5%. So
I mean, if you really think about it, I mean, it's kind of online with it. I mean, Xbox Series is at 34 million. The Xbox One was at 44. So to be honest, they're kind of around the same realm. What I don't understand is how PlayStation hasn't grown past that 65 million, and the only reason as to why they have was mostly due to the fact that it's third party and Fortnite.
The Series S is only really doing better than the OG Xbox, which in the end only sold 25 million consoles total around. Barely anything, okay, in that landscape. The console is not selling, period. So now,
and the software on PlayStation ain't selling either, but yet let's find a reason not to talk about it. You know, having these exclusive games, or I would say Sony-owned eccentric games, would be beneficial to Sony. Seeing Lego Horizons only having 600 people on Steam and probably the game barely even eclipsing 1 million is not good business for Sony. I mean, you can see that Sony is trying to expand, but yet people still not buying these games because your games are just not in demand. Nobody cares about PlayStation games. And this is something that I've been saying since the very beginning. I've had people argue with me in my comment section. Sony owned Final Fantasy VII. Did they really? Or did they just have it on PS1 because the N64 used cartridges? Because let's not forget, everybody, Final Fantasy VII was originally planned for the N64 as an exclusive. The only reason as to why they even ported it, I'm saying ported. The only reason why they made a PlayStation 1 version has more to do with the fact that they wanted to put FMV, and the only way that was possible was through CD technology, and the Sega Saturn was a failure. So it made perfect sense as to why the game was a PS1 exclusive at the time. But now look at it, guys. The game is everywhere.
Here's the question, right? When I was brought up in my last video about Microsoft potentially coming into the plans of not releasing a console, if Microsoft is releasing a console, we know a few things. So far, they're making consoles that sell worse than the previous gen. That's just it. They're making consoles people don't really want to buy.
I mean, that's not true, though, because the Xbox, the original, sold about close to 30, 40. Xbox 360 was probably their best-selling console. Xbox One, for about 45, 50 million. And the Xbox Series X and S seem to be doing the same thing. So if anything, Microsoft just kind of stayed the same within the hardware market. They haven't really improved since the Xbox 360. But I wouldn't go as far to say that was a failure, everybody. I mean, 30, 40, 50 million at the end of a console generation is actually quite impressive. I mean, the NES was at that at one point. So is that really a failure? Especially if you're making money through games and Game Pass Ultimate? I don't think so.
Number two, their mindset is they don't believe that when they make a console, it's...
And what's crazy is that PlayStation is offered in more regions than the Xbox, which means that the system's going to sell more. You get what I'm saying? I mean, a lot of the times Microsoft is just dominating in one region, which happens to be the US, and they still pulling out 35 million hardware sales on your behinds. But ain't nobody want to talk about that.
People with PlayStation consoles. It's just not. They don't believe people are going to go. And now all of a sudden, because you got a new Xbox, they're going to jump onto the Xbox train. They don't believe in simply making games is going to get people to play Xbox. Okay?
Well, it seems like making games for PlayStation ain't having people buy a PlayStation, so I guess you're right there, Puerto Rock. I mean, Phil Spencer's already told you guys, nobody cares. You're not gonna force a guy that's been playing on PS5 that plays nothing but Fortnite to go out there and buy an Xbox and vice versa. This is the problem that we have now. Nobody cares about exclusives. And it's pretty evident to me. You are still stuck in the 90s, bro. Oh, I picked up the Super Nintendo because I got Donkey Kong Country. I got the Sega Genesis because I got Streets of Rage. Bruh, ain't nobody gaming like that anymore, bro. And even back then, they barely bought those games either. Not Donkey Kong Country, but Streets of Rage.
Especially away from PlayStation. They don't believe in that. Number 3, Microsoft is already committed to putting games on PlayStation. So that's already a done decision. So what do you have to sell the next?
And Sony has committed in putting games on PC. But yet, for some reason, your games are still exclusive. The only people that are out here making exclusives is Nintendo. But yet, for some reason, PlayStation fanboys act like they don't exist. They don't exist in hardware. They don't exist in having more online multiplayer. Nintendo Switch is single-handedly destroying the PS5. What they say to Xbox? 13-1, if you want to be technical, because they're dominating in hardware. So much so that it's even lasting 2 generations from PlayStation. Let's not forget that they have more online games where people subscribe to for Nintendo Switch Online multiplayer, even though it's trash. And on top of that, they got more exclusives than you. The only thing you guys got is remasters and remakes.
What do you have? You create a new Xbox that doesn't sell. Most likely will sell worse in the Series S and X. So you're talking even less?
No, I think they're going to just sell about the same. And I think Microsoft is happy with having that 40, 50 million hardware sales at the end of the generation. I think they're comfortable with that. You guys are acting like it's only selling 5 million. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you guys are acting like, oh, the Xbox Series only sold 2 million. Then maybe you might have an argument. But come on, 40 to 50 million, then you're pricing them with the Game Pass Ultimate. Like, come on, bro. They making money, bro. Regardless if you people think it's not selling like the greatness of Sony. Bro, half those console sales that Sony got is from scalpers, and you people know it.
Penetration. Your games are on PlayStation, so...
Not all your games. Bro, see? What do you mean? All your games are going to PC. Does that disvalue the PS5 platform? Or should I just spend the extra additional money that I would have by buying 2 consoles and get myself a PC? Because I can do that too and have access to PS5 as well as Xbox games. Well, there you go. You just proved to people as to why PC gaming is better than consoles. There you go. This is what PC gamers' argument is. Like, you buy 2 consoles that not have access to every single one of the games, but yet, this is what you people are doing? You might as well take the $1,000 or $1,500 that you pay for the games and the subscription service and play on PC with free online multiplayer.
What type of console do you make and what is it for? That's going to be the challenge, right?
I bought the Xbox Series X to play games. That's exactly why I bought it. Just like you bought the PS5 to play games, even though they're on PC, but it doesn't matter. That does not invalidate your console. See, this is what's wrong with you people. We have too many people want to feel validated. We live in an era of people wanting to feel validated. We live in an era where people do stupid things so they can get clicks, views, and engagement. You know? Like, this is what people do. I shouldn't even say what I do. This is what you people do. It's ridiculous.
And we're 4 years into the gen, right? In fact, we're in November, we're already 4 years in the gen. You still got another 4 years. Now, of course, Xbox fanboys are pushing this 2026 rumor as if a new console is ready to launch in 2026, but I don't believe it. I don't think there is going to be a new console in 2026, mainly because the reason why the Xbox fanboys are saying this is because they want the repeat of the OG Xbox to 360 transition, where Microsoft cut the OG Xbox gen short and launched their console way ahead of the PlayStation.
Now that will actually be pretty good, because that will single-handedly take away a huge market share from Sony. Remember when I brought up the fact that Microsoft might want to try to pull an Xbox 360 with their next console? Now, if they do that, because Sony's already kind of comfortable with their little PS5. So if Microsoft does that and take a loss on the hardware sales, which they're already taking losses at, and they have the only next generation console in comparison to the PS5 Pro that you pay $700 for, that ain't even worth paying for, unlike the next Xbox, which will be a next generation system, that will be pretty impressive. See, I don't think you people are seeing it, and I really do hope Microsoft does that so they can spice things up. Because I'm tired of it, bro. Remember the days where it was so great, like you was just getting involved in the PS2, and then that following year in 2005, you got like, wow, the 360's coming out? It was an amazing time. Sony wanted to milk the PS2 all the way till 2009. You know, but when Microsoft came in, it completely shifted Sony's whole gaming market.
That's going to be a huge advantage into gaining more sales, gaining market share for the next console.
Yeah.
But we already heard Microsoft, we just reminded ourselves, they don't believe in any situation when they could get market share from PlayStation. They don't believe in that. That's not their strategy. So the corporate strategy of Microsoft is not to try to compete with Sony to gain market share. They're not doing that. But the Xbox fanboys and influencers, they're creating this strategy for Xbox consoles to create market share. So the fanboys have a strategy, but they have no power to execute the strategy because they're not the shareholders. They're not the decision makers. That's what's funny.
Well, just like you ain't the shareholders as to why, just like you fanboys can't stop Sony from putting all their games on PC. But yeah, we accepted, guys. I mean, come on, bro. There's videos of this dude 6 to 7 years ago talking about how God of War would never go to PC. And look what happened. You know what I'm saying? All you people keep doing is changing the narratives. You know? This is why I just enjoy gaming. This is why I don't care about half the things you people say in this community, because you cannot win against a neutral gamer. I've had people tell me, oh, you were losing a debate with Puerto. How can I lose in a debate when you're a neutral gamer? You can't lose. It's impossible. It's impossible. If you're a neutral gamer, it's impossible to lose to a fanboy. It is what it is.
One of the weird things is Microsoft's relationship with the fans, right? With Xbox fans, meaning you got a low-costing, entry-level console that is the cheapest entry to next-generation gaming. Maybe $350, to give a little bit of spruce. Around $350. But that's it. No Series X version, no higher tier version. Just a $350 console that allows you to play next-generation games, which means you're allowed to play the next-generation games that go on Game Pass, and you could transition from the Xbox Series consoles to the new console, no problem. You got your games, whatever. But this new console that they release, it's not going to be a powerful console, similar to the Series S. It's just enough to get games for the next generation.
Now, how do you know that, Puerto Rock? I mean, you're just a fanboy, bro. It's so funny that he talks about the direction of Xbox more than the Xbox content creators in this community, man. I mean, you gotta respect the Xbox community, man. I mean, some of them might be fanboys, but they talk about the greatness of Xbox and how Xbox can make these fundamental changes for their platform. You ponies, on the other hand, just want to hate on what they're saying and don't even talk about how great the PS5 is because you know the PS5 ain't great. This is coming from a person that's been playing games since the PlayStation 1. The PS5 is by far Sony's worst gaming console. I had more fun with the Vita than what I'm getting with the PS5.
And they're probably going to sell it for profit. They're not going to take a loss on it because there's no reason to take a loss because they're not trying to create a market share. They're not going to try to create, or try to compete with PlayStation. Right? So you're talking.
But you don't understand that these companies are not competing with each other. Didn't you see how all three CEOs were on stage with each other? There's no competition. Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo can all flourish. There's no reason for that. And the reason as to why Microsoft and these companies want it like that, because they're trying to gatekeep Tencent and all these other big companies from buying all your games, bruh. What do you think was going to happen if Microsoft didn't buy Activision and Bethesda? Maybe Apple would have made that an Apple exclusive. But Microsoft's like, no, we're here for the gamers. We're here for the big three. And that's what Microsoft is here for you guys. Microsoft is gatekeeping the gaming industry from these big time companies that want to come in here and ruin things for y'all. That's why Microsoft didn't take games away from you. They knew that if they did that, that would single-handedly impact the gaming industry. They need to gatekeep these people out. And Microsoft don't care because they're acquiring acquisitions as they go on and still making money in the process. The money's in-house, baby. Because Nintendo and Sony don't have the money to compete with a Tencent. They would have came in here and bought everything. Oh, it's streaming only, Call of Duty now, if they bought it. Is that what you people wanted? Okay. Like I said, man, it is what it is.
Next generation Series S type console with no X, low costing, just enough, priced enough to get you into next generation gaming. Enjoy your Game Pass. Have a nice day. They're gonna give you 30 FPS games. Maybe games.
They only mad because they gotta buy Indiana Jones 6 months from now, while you Xbox gamers can play it.
Maybe they're not. They're not gonna go most likely balls to the walls or bells and whistles with technology. They're not going to do that. There's no reason for them to.
There's no reason for them to do that because look at what Sony's doing with remasters and remakes. I can guarantee you there's a reason why Nintendo hasn't dropped their next-gen console yet. Because what point why would you drop a next-generation console if you got Sony out here putting remasters on your PS5?
I was just trying to go, with all the bells and whistles, you could go on PC for that. Or if you really want a console...
Well, you could do the same thing with Sony.
Bells and whistles, Sony is still into that. So you could go with
What do you mean? Sony, you still missing out on a lot of games, man. What are you talking about, bro? There's a lot, bro, come on, man. You can look at this dude's face like he don't even know what he's talking about. You still missing out on a lot of games, man. That's why y'all still crying about Starfield.
So that's really the outlook on this. That's really it. If they do make another console, it's strictly for the Game Pass gamers, and they're not gonna go all out for you guys. It's simply not. So,
all right, I think this guy forgot the whole purpose of what a video game console is. But hopefully you guys enjoy this video, man. Like I said, man, I'm not Puerto Rican, man. Like I said, it is what it is, bro. I don't know what's wrong with this dude, man. He did this all before Thanksgiving, too. Like, bro, you should have been enjoying time with your family and eating turkey and, and stuffing. And look at what you're doing. Look at what the stuff you're doing. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, man. Like I said, man, make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe. Take care.